Alright, what up guys, it is Talaria here, back at it again with another Seattle night ride. One major change I have right now is I'm actually running my new Supermoto setup. So if you saw the last video, you might recall me mentioning that I had ordered the GritShift 17-inch Supermoto set, and well, it's here. And I'm riding on them. I already had a little bit of an oopsie daisy on these. I didn't realize that tires kind of have like a break-in period or whatever. And so my dumbass, the first thing I did once I threw these things on was I put the bitch in sport mode, and then like literally just going out of my driveway. Gave her too much, lost the back end, and just fucking dropped her. Pretty much the first ride I had actually done after the whole last Saturday night ride video I did. It was actually more or less the first time I had been back on the bike since then. But I was trying out the new tires, literally complete freshies, and yeah, slipped it out, had a little bit of an oopsie daisy. I haven't done any real range tests with this yet, but this is going to be the first kind of unofficial range test. I did do the weight test. The front wheels are actually the exact same weight from what I could tell with my home scale. The rear wheels, the Supermoto rear wheel is actually 1 pound heavier than the stock rear wheel and tire combination. So yeah, that one's quite a bit heavier, and so that might affect the range a little bit. We'll have to see. But it is also a smoother ride, less rolling resistance, so like theoretically there could be an improvement there too. We'll just have to see. I think it'll probably just kind of end up being exactly the same, honestly. I don't think I'm gonna notice any real difference, but I still want to do an actual official test. I still have not really broken them in yet though. I've only put a few miles on these so far, but really they haven't had too much action yet. Only like maybe 5 miles, 10 miles tops so far. But so far I like them a lot. As long as I'm not pushing them past their limits, they're pretty good. But yeah, this is gonna get interesting time-wise. I'm definitely gonna make it in time for the ride, but the question is really how much time am I actually gonna have to charge once I get there. But yeah, obviously we're taking the 520 trail this time, mostly just because it's technically a bit faster. It gets interesting because I think the I-90 trail is technically faster to get to Mohai, but the 520 is faster to get to Gasworks. The 520 way is really nice too, because you don't have to go through like Crackhead Alley or whatever. I like to avoid that area if I can, honestly. The other change that I mentioned, obviously, from GritShift is let's see what this guy is doing. Hopefully he doesn't try to kill me. Okay, cool. The light button or whatever, the toggle button for the headlight. Still haven't done an official test on that one either, but this will kind of be somewhat of an unofficial test. I'm kind of testing 2 variables at once here, so it's like really not even fair if I end up with slightly more range here. Oh yeah, and I also caught a decent amount of flack for that last video too there. A lot of people were really mad that I was going so fast on what they consider a sidewalk, which, like, first of all, I understand those concerns. Like, I get it. I really do. I get it, which is why when you actually see me riding in these videos, like, this is how I ride around 99% of the time. In eco mode, just trying to save battery. Like, sure, I'll hit my max speed of 28, but a lot of the time I'm cruising at like, you know, 18, 20 miles an hour or something. First of all, yeah, it's not like I'm doing that everywhere. But second of all, like, you know, who hasn't tested their top speed, right? Like, I'm on a like perfectly straight bridge, perfect visibility, practically summer solstice, and it's like not even 10 p.m. yet. The bridge is fully lit. I can tell there's not a pedestrian in sight. Like, I can see, you know, there's a lake to my left. It's not like somebody's gonna come swimming up from the freezing lake. There's a freeway to my right. It's not like somebody's gonna come hopping the barrier from the right side, right? Like, and then I slowed down because I knew there was a turn coming up. I knew it was the end of the bridge. I knew that potentially there could be pedestrians or bikes coming around that corner, and I also knew there was an intersection coming up. I knew all this shit, which is why I stopped going fast, right? Like, yeah, then that guy comes buzzing past me at like God knows what, 35, 40 miles an hour, something like that, hits a pole. But then I caught flack for like apparently leaving the dude and like not giving him enough help, which was like ridiculous, because I literally stopped and asked him if he was okay multiple times, and he confirmed he was okay multiple times and that he didn't want help multiple times. And then 2 more people on bikes showed up and asked the same questions and got the same answers. And then a 4th person showed up in the car and the exact same thing happened again. Not only confirmed that he was okay, but that he just didn't want any help, right? Like, somebody even offered him Tylenol and he was like, no thanks, right? Like, dude didn't want any help. And then he like literally gets up and starts walking away. He was kind of just walking away from all of us, like, yeah, leave me alone or whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I got places to be, you know? Like, I don't know this guy. I have no affiliation with this guy, and like, it's getting late and I'm trying to get home after a long ride. It's like, it's not really my responsibility to like you know, give this guy unwarranted help that he like doesn't want, that he's already refused, you know? Like, I'm not his mom, I'm not a doctor, I don't know first aid, there's not really much I could have done. And yeah, you know, you have some asshole flying past me on the trail when I don't even know he's there, trying to pass me on a fucked up blind corner, and then like he hits a pole, which could have, honestly, very easily, he could have hit those two cyclists. So I mean, he very well could have killed either me or those two cyclists, when I'm supposed to sit here and ruin my night because some asshole decided to go flying past me at 40 miles an hour and hit a pole, when he like could have almost killed me or could have almost killed those bicyclists. Like sorry, like I'm a good enough person that I'm not just gonna ride past and be like, ha ha. But like, you know, I'll stop and be like, you okay? You sure you don't need any help? All right. And then I'm out of there, because like I'm not his fucking mom, you know what I mean? And I don't really understand how I didn't do enough there, you know? Whew, just got that tire mark on there. That sign's gone though now. Whack! So far it is definitely seeming like we're draining a bit more battery with this rear wheel, but I don't know if I was really goosing it as hard on the way there last time, so we'll have to see. I don't know. Yeah, that's without the light too, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know about that. I gotta say, I feel like more recently I'm getting more dirty looks on this thing. I feel like this is heavily ironic, because my original thought was that this thing, when it was all black from the factory, I feel like it was just this giant like quite literal silhouette of a dirt bike, right? It just felt like it stuck out like a sore thumb, and so I was like, all right, I want to kind of break up the silhouette a little bit, put some white fenders on it, and maybe that'll just like, it'll keep it looking like a dirt bike and functioning like a dirt bike. But theoretically, I was thinking it would kind of break up the silhouette enough to where at a quick glance it didn't quite look like a dirt bike. But I feel like the more white parts I put on this thing, the more it looks like a motorcycle, and that's especially true with the battery cover, because now it just looks like it has a fucking gas tank, and it just kind of straight up looks like a motorcycle now. Definitely like the way the bike looks, so overall very satisfied with what I've done to the bike. But as far as what my original intention was with trying to break up the silhouette and all that, I honestly feel like I might have accidentally done the opposite. But yeah, I feel like I've definitely been getting more kind of like, what the fuck is he riding right now type of looks than I did before. So definitely something to consider doing visual mods on your Sur-Ron or your Talaria. You might not want to do particular mods that might make your bike stand out more as like a motorcycle than a bike. And obviously when I'm riding on the sidewalk, I'm definitely never going like 55 miles an hour on the sidewalk. It was pissing me off that people were like, oh, you're riding 55 miles an hour on a sidewalk. It's like, first of all, calling it a sidewalk is a bit of a stretch. It's, for all intents and purposes, like pedestrians are secondary. So honestly, in my opinion, like, people can talk as much shit as they want about Sur-Rons and Talarias being on sidewalks and bike paths, but I'm sorry, the cities opened the door to that by allowing these little electric scooters, because the electric scooters are honestly no better or worse than a Sur-Ron or Talaria. I mean, like, the Sur-Ron and Talaria, I guess, are faster, but most people aren't douchey enough to be going like 55 miles an hour on like sidewalks. I've seen far more people driving like complete shitheads on those little like Lime scooters than I have on Sur-Rons, like by far. Not only will they ride like complete shitheads, but they'll do that like riding tandem too. Like they'll literally have two people on a fucking Lime scooter. And then you have like idiots like that that think they can just ride two abreast or whatever, which is a very ironic thing to say for somebody who's on their way to a group ride, but still, this two abreast shit is ridiculous. It's like hard for me to feel like the asshole when like nobody can figure out how to like not hog the fucking trail. It's like, do I ride with much gusto sometimes? Yeah, sure, but at least I'm not hogging the fucking trail while I do it, right? Like the people riding like two abreast, literally hogging the entire trail, I think is far worse than somebody that's like semi-responsibly riding at like excessive speeds on the trail, right? Like, and then you got them doing shit like this, right? Like at least people aren't leaving their Sur-Rons all over the fucking trail. It's kind of insane how many people think it's okay to just ride two abreast and hog the whole fucking trail. It's kind of ridiculous, I'm sorry. So here we are at Gasworks. See, it's too bad there's nowhere to charge up here, because that would be perfect. And then you got like fucking weird shit like that. I think that might just be like a cultural thing, because I mean, I hate to assume it's just because somebody's Asian when they do that, but it's like typically you just stay over to your side, you don't cross over. Like, it's crazy how often there'll be somebody like in the oncoming direction and they're Asian, and instead of just like sticking close to the right, they cross over in front of me onto my lane and try to let me pass on the left. And it's like, no, like you could have literally just stayed where you are, or like even better, gotten closer to your side, not my side. Like, I don't understand that. I really don't. See, at this point it starts to get really weird, because it's kind of like at this point you almost might as well just stay around at Gasworks. Jesus Christ. And then you have to consider that I'm not even going to be able to charge all the way up. I think I was at like 80% when I passed Gasworks though. So, all right, so we're here. And we've got what, 76%. So yeah, and it's 6:35. Wow, that was way better than I expected. Holy shit.
How fast does this go?
Like 55 miles an hour?
55?
Yeah.
That's not too bad. But it's not highway safe then.
I mean, like, you can make them road legal, but I mean, the way this one is, it's not. No, it's got like a normal tail light, but it's not like an actual brake light or anything. And then it's got the headlight too.
Oh, it's a itty bitty headlight. So cute.
But yeah, they're pretty good. They keep up on like just like normal like city streets and stuff. They keep up pretty well, but
Yeah.
I don't know, highway would be kind of pushing it. Would only kind of like just make it on the highway.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Damn, that sucks. 'Cause I'm looking for something like that. This size. But
It's a good size. Yeah, it's really comfortable.
great size for city.
Yeah, we're kind of a little close here. Not too bad. We definitely got time to make it there. But yeah, it's like it's a little bit like getting creative on this thing is a little bit more sketchy without the actual motocross tires or whatever. It's just like I don't trust this thing in like, you know, dirt, grass, gravel, that sort of thing. I just don't really trust it as much. So I got to remember not to go too crazy with hopping on and off trails and things like that. So I got there with like what, 75% battery. Didn't get too long to charge up. I left there with about 94%, and yeah, I'm definitely not going to use like 14% getting to Gasworks. So overall, it's going to be worth it, but we didn't get too much of a gain there, but it should honestly be enough. This kind of has me thinking, once I'm done with these Supermoto tires, I'm almost wondering, I think I might want to put the like Shinko 241s on these 17-inch tires instead of getting them on the 19-inch stock rims or whatever. So if anybody has any experience with that, definitely let me know down in the comments if you've messed around with the 17-inch Shinko 241s, like the trials tires, maybe even the 244s if they have them in 17s. I'd be down with that too. But honestly, it'd be nice to have a more like dual sport setup for doing like exactly this kind of thing, where I'm like on asphalt a lot of the time, but I still want to like dip into the grass, the gravel or whatever here and there. Not like the stock tires give you crazy grip or anything, but I like the range you get out of those because they're so much lighter. Like, even though it's just a pound in the rear, that 1 pound of rotational mass makes a huge difference. And then you also have to consider the fact that it's a 17-inch wheel too, so it's spinning faster than a 19-inch wheel would spin. So not only is it a pound heavier, but it's 2 inches smaller, which means that it's rotating a little faster, increasing its rotational mass even more. Equals less range is what I'm saying. Let's see here. Let's see how these do on the weird, sketchy grate material. This should be slightly better than the Supermotos, or than the motocross. Yeah, it's not too bad. You can actually like kind of turn on there and it doesn't feel sketchy. But yeah, rolling up on Gasworks. We got about half a mile to go, running on 89%. So again, not super crazy. I'd love to have a little bit more, but you know, it is what it is. It's better than the like 80% I passed.
Now the race is on, and here comes Brian in the backstage.
There's definitely some people, that's for sure. It's gonna be an interesting ride. It's like basically the summer solstice ride, but weather ain't too great. Yeah, no, this has zero traction in the dirt, that's for sure. That's sketchy, I hate that. It's really the end of the line already? That's it? Bam! Wow. Okie it's a small one today. Hey, Larisa. I gotta say, I can't wait until I get around to getting myself a bigger battery, because ooh, it would be nice to not have to worry about charging halfway through a ride. I don't even want a 72 amp or a 72 volt. I just want more amperage on a 60 volt. I'm already considering kind of gearing it down anyway, because I have no business going 55 on this thing, you know? I'd rather do like 45 and get there quicker, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, not completely sure how I feel about the Supermotos. I kind of think I'd rather have some like dual sports on here. But I don't really want to put the dual sports on my 19ers. I'd like to keep those like basically stock, because I really like the stock wheel setup and how lightweight it is and all that. So yeah, I don't know, tough call. So how are we looking? 83% right now. We're only doing like barely any better than we got there originally. Holy shit. Oh, that's so bad, dude. These things actually do eat up the range pretty immensely. I can't even lie.
You started rapping when you wasn't good at basketball. I started rapping because I fucking need some Adderall. I can't do one thing,
nice.
I'm just too good. I can't do one thing, I am Tiger Woods.
The other problem I'm running into is that my whole GoPro assembly is kind of putting a bit of forward weight on my hat here, or my helmet, and it's kind of pulling it down and forward a bit. The fountain's gonna get interesting. Hopefully I don't fuck anything up there. Not really the best place grip-wise with all that water. Oh, this isn't too bad. This is pretty decent. Always gotta break it up a little bit. Uh-oh. Shoot. It's a bit rougher with these hard tires, that's for sure. Gee whizzicles, not for the Supermotos, that's for sure. Dude, everybody's always recording this shit. I'm gonna take the degenerate route. Interesting, these Supermotos on this fucking brick shit. Wow, this guy actually found a parking spot. That's a rare one. Dude, everybody acts like it's the craziest thing when they see 50 bikes in the street. Oh shit, there's the parrot. That's legit. Boys hanging on for dear life.
Right in my palm, off your mom. It doesn't really matter because my shit is the bomb. They LL said on that master flex. I'm drunk past the tech. While I black.
I'm drunk past the tech.
In this Western roulette, you blush and you sweat. While I step up, clutching your set. This is right off of the top. Everything that I drop will never stop. It's Tim Westwood up in the shop. We just smoke.
Uh-oh. Looks like it might be a busy ass. A busy one, all right. That's no good. 75%, not too bad. These line bikes are everywhere. Oh, I failed the mission. I keep forgetting to get food whenever there's a game. Fucking Seattle dog. Oh, I could go for a Seattle dog right now. Oh, this sounds so fucking good right now. See, I fucked up. I fucked up. I think we should make one more stop, guys. Oh, it's about to get real awkward. Oh boy. Closer to a cop than I'd prefer to get. Jesus Christ, man. I almost didn't think I was going to fit through there either. That was going to be awkward. Oh, yeah, and I turned the ISO up a little bit, so we're running 100 minimum, 800 maximum. I'm sure it's going to be encroaching on that 800, though, for sure. All right, hopefully we don't die. Ooh, that's some lean. I haven't really gone that deep yet. That wasn't even that deep either. I'm over here like, oh, I don't want to fucking drop it. Yeah, I think I should probably put the new brake pads in at this point. Ooh, the ocean's smelling deep right now. I don't know, that Seattle ocean is different though, it really does. Water's from a bottle, mine from a canteen. Damn, we are not zipping right now. Same, bro. I'm trying to do this. Especially with these new Supermotos, I gotta. Come on, baby. Yeah, boy. Straight gunning it. I can't give up this opportunity. I gotta.
I guess my grandmama was wrong in the bar. She said, shit don't change.
Oh, this is some cruising though. This shit nice. Uh-oh, who are these guys? Oh, here we go. Uh-oh, my mile reset. Like the trip counter itself resets at like 600 and something, whatever. I think it's like 1,000 kilometers, whatever 1,000 kilometers is in miles. That's what it like resets at. So it means I've had at least that many miles on this thing, 1,000 kilometers worth. Yeah, here we are. That's the end of the ride, and then we'll have the little ride back in the dark. See how that goes with the 1x800. But yeah, I'd say overall this has been a pretty successful ride. Don't want to count my eggs before they hatch or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Last time I said, hey, you know, it was a pretty good ride. Nobody got in any wrecks. Last time I said that, yeah, I got over the 520 bridge and somebody had a wreck. So on that behalf, don't want to count my eggs before they hatch or whatever. But, you know, overall, I think it was a pretty good one. It was a very small ride and it went real quick. That's honestly my only real issue I had with the ride is I didn't really have that much time to like stop and smoke. But yeah, pretty spaghetti interaction happened there at the end of the ride when I finally got a chance to smoke. It's a goddamn shame I was not recording, but you know, even if I was recording, I wouldn't have had my helmet on anyway due to the fact that I was smoking. But anyway, so there was this group of girls and one of them approached me while I was smoking and she was like, yo man, can I hit that or whatever? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I handed it to her and like, I swear to God, you're not gonna understand this unless you were like around for like old YouTube and you saw this video too. But there's this video of an old man who smokes weed for the first time and he's like, how do I use this thing? And he goes to like put the lighter underneath the pipe like he's smoking a crack pipe. But no, like straight up, I shit you not, this girl picked up my pipe. She went to go hit it, and instead of hitting it like a normal human being who has ever hit it, you know, a marijuana pipe in their life, instead of just smoking it like a normal human, she's like, how do I do it? Does the flame go under here? How does this work? Even though I was sitting there smoking it the whole time, like she could have like watched me do it a little bit before walking up, maybe, if she didn't know what she was doing. She's like, she did that, and like for a second, like I thought she was fucking with me. I thought like, oh, maybe she saw that video too. I'm like, wait, have you never done this before? She's like, oh no, I usually only hit carts. I'm like, are you like, what? Like, even if that's the case, like, how do you not know how to use a pipe? She's over here trying to light it like a crack pipe. Like, bro, where are you from? What kind of drugs do you normally do? How is that like your instinct? Like, that is the least instinctual way to use a pipe ever. So like, that literally doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I hope I didn't just share this pipe with a meth head, because that's kind of what it feels like here. I mean, the thing is, she wasn't even sketchy looking. She was actually kind of cute, and I was like surprised that she went up to me. I'm like, wow, okay. So I like showed her how to hit it. I'm like, yeah, you just do this. Took a hit, and she's like, oh, okay. And then like she goes to hit it and she still fails the mission somehow. She's like holding it all fucking weird and not even touching the carburetor. I'm like, oh god, I didn't explain a carburetor to this lady. She has no clue that thing even exists. It was super spaghetti though. It was like honestly more spaghetti than that original video of the old man doing it. That shit was dumb. I'm glad I got to experience that interaction because it was hilarious, but god, I wish I got that on camera, because that would have just been the icing on the cake. God, my butt already hurts from this. That's the other thing too, is that these Supermotos are definitely not I mean, they're a smoother ride, but like it's also like a harsher ride because they're inflated harder. Like they don't actually act as shock absorbers like a kind of weakly inflated motocross tire does. And like, I mean, I run my motocross tires pretty hard. I run them at like 20-25, 31% now. We're down to 2.5 miles. That's pretty good. Yeah, I've been almost gunning it the whole time. So if I ride a bit more conservatively and I get like straight there and I take the 520 route to make sure that it's the shorter route and all that, I think even with the Supermotos, I think I have this whole ride without charging.